Gilg Jew, Gilg J as Gilg Nerach.
She Claare na Gael and Claare shows, but William Shewish Altacha. My name is Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Did the ever hear tell of old Bobby Bob?
And in this programme, you'll hear me talking about some things in the English language, as Nishu Clash and me Lord Machon Cushnelius a Gilg, and you'll hear me talking about other topics in the Manx Gaelic, Cheayn, the mother tongue of Eilyn, the Isle of Man. As Banach and Jewish, we've been hearing about some of the ecclesiastical history of the island as it was known to David Robertson in 1791, when he made his return visit to the island, in which he'd earlier worked as a revenue officer of the Crown. Tan Olw van Helsing skriw rish Mina Harker de foliachtach de vraich G fel kideg a chit les shiliori. Sio de ve gynis de pecher bielia, golstiach dyn ye shesha Mina Jonathan Harker. Te rechit de jig an olgus Exeter a train a mora ergin. We start with a song looking to the Welsh otherworld, Annwn, and it's written and performed by MATHIAS. Tashu geisjach rish radio vanning station an ashen beskuller scalia vai dúlish alin vanning.
Dŵr mae'r nos yn cael, mae'r creaduriaid yn agosau. Dros y dŵr mae'r nos yn cael, mae'r creaduriaid yn agosau. Mi ddaw yr coed fel cysgod ar ei pen, a'r cadno yn edrych a'i lygaid i'r nen. Mae curiad y drwm o dan fy nhraed, yn fwrlwm yr adur breuddwyd yn naid. O bleidi misof gofynodd y bran, hir ysgafarnog a gollodd ei dan, ac yna mae olaeth o crwmen o las yn trawsnewid I dylluan a dechreuodd y ras. Ac mi ddaw'r nos I gau, gyrra'i chysgo drwm yn ar golau, yn y coed mi glwn a talwydd teg yn rhedeg I Annwn peg. Mae'r sieiad yn arwain y ddau i'r de, I greigiau y cwm, i'r tedi, i'r dre, i'r drws yn agored ond yr hoson nhw yn lle, dros glwyddo hyd a nhw'n dyma sgreu a we.
Mae gennyf efo'r nedi a ganddo Pedyr trwd a pedwar arian o dan ei Pedyr trwd. Felly dan gwydambian ysgrifau ben wel, felly dan gennyf intyniad dwy'n o'i ben.
Ac mi ddaw'r nos I gau, gyda ysgol drwm ond ar golau, yn y coed mi glwn a talwydd teg yn rhedeg I Annwn peg. Ac mi ddaw'r nos I gau, gyda ysgol drwm ond ar golau, yn y coed mi glwn a talwydd teg yn rhedeg I Annwn peg. Ac mi ddaw'r nos I gau, gyda ysgol drwm ond ar golau, yn y coed mi glwn a talwydd teg yn rhedeg I Annwn peg. nos yn cael, mae'r creaduriaid yn agosau. Dros y dŵr mae'r nos yn cael, mae'r creaduriaid yn agosau.
Mary MATHIAS from Talgarreg in Ceredigion, which is southwest Wales, and the title track from her album Annwn. The Dukes of Atholl had retained the right to appoint the Bishop of Sodor and Man even after 1765, when they sold most of the main regalities of the island as Lords of Man to the British Crown. And so their final appointee was William Ward, who was appointed bishop in 1827. Well, the Atholls then sold their remaining regalities to the British Crown, and in 1838 James Bowstead was a Crown appointee, not the choice of the Atholls. And David Robertson goes on to tell us now. The bishop was anciently the first baron in the realm, and at present claims, I presume chiefly through courtesy, the title and dignity of a peer. But as the bishopric was not one of those spiritual baronies constituted by William the Conqueror, nor the bishop elected by the king's congé d'élire, he has no seat in the British Parliament. Well, there we are, the king's congé d'élire. I'd not come across congé d'élire before, but it's a licence from the Crown issued under the Great Seal to the dean and chapter of the Cathedral Church of a diocese, authorising them to elect a bishop to a vacant see, or if it's York or Canterbury, of course, that's to elect an archbishop. Lior lag Mina Harker, and chwegol eis feed mein fawr. Genadam mag genacht een grieze tjaglach huist een treedje vers on Kuurt en Dr. Van Helsing, son onzag denjach tammy jerkel de genesaige gemaag bekken kiel Jonich trimpschach Jonathan, as no de renne tenjeel Lucy wach wien se chingus en jeriek, al de se ginch da William McJonech. Well, Shannon or teitje, te benten de Lucy is een schul na cardlag, as gene benten de Jonathan, Esh, ga bi fissem arach a firnis riechnish. Cre go homajach as tammy. Tan liorle aglach shen goil graham jem a hieltness as ti sled a chuljurid les beggan jen daek heen. Son shiggers te benten de Lucy. Henk en osh a bach wien rish as gesolach de ren no nie aglach shen een kor chinga sorry. Ve bonus jerudet je master na chushen heen, kreeg a ching as ve na lug shen. Well, there was an interesting documentary on T.G. Caher the other night about the Cobblestone, a pub in Dublin, and one of the people talking about it was singer, musician and politician Owen O'Cannamoin. And that's Owen O'Cannamoin singing and accompanying himself on his concertina. Owen O'Connor joined Ruth Kegan and her band and in the Aislyn project, and was a founder member of the award-winning Irish band Skipper's Alley. Te Jane the Dinshi de machon an adventure siúl na cadla Nainin, as the rau fissegger ulju machonegger. A snish te giri mish de instein of a fissegger, the big tickler's egger. Tammy tres jail the ren me and rid car train a doort me weg machonegger de benaisje western ra. Ha jinnens lie do say the beg ridder be jintem eer jorish ko share danach rentar nadi de Lucy Wachwien. Tammy tres jail nis nach jin and Dr. Van Helsing corofoil arms. The huish burra as im nee vm a gerage, de vel me genachten a bottom sorrel tulju karte getreit on. Tammy shielten de Vulcania jinno maiden olju na keerten. Te jinno oer neer nach heden as tan flia elje jinno. For die de rawe ljai en ljor lad jay ren corb ask me. As esh hi Jonathan Shul mar Jew the Hannachten Shul Vom, rish sledden lie zee, and hier tussen way by Michaelia near the Savannah. And Robertson quotes William Sacheverell. The arms of the bishopric are upon 3 ascents: a church, the Virgin Mary standing with her arms extended between 2 pillars, on the dexter whereof a church, in base the ancient arms of man. The chapter concludes now. The bishop's power was formerly ample and sometimes intolerant. But since the triumph over clerical oppression in 1643, it's been limited by moderation and justice. His revenue, however, increases, for within these few years it's exceeded £1,200 per annum, a liberal sum in this island, blessed with such abundance not only of the comforts but also of the luxuries of life. Under the bishop are an archdeacon, 2 vicars general, and an episcopal registrar, who, with their prelate, compose the consistory court, and have under their jurisdiction 17 parishes. Of the parochial clergy I shall give some account in a subsequent chapter, on the manners and characters of the Manx, and at present proceed to finish my journey through the island. So he's going to complete his journey with his 2 friends, and off they set. Well, we're setting off to Brittany. Ar BLEIZI Ruse, the Red Wolves.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Stasiwn and Asiwn to Radio Vanning, as she Claare na Gael and Claare Shaw. Mish Robert Cutting Gorswell, Robert a Corslach.
Have you heard tell of our Bobby Bob?
Te caid you clash and Claare na Gael rish, the shachten looked you guller and scaly and chirchirt, as to emedy Claare and Radio Vanning Elion, yes, sir, in a degger Radio Vanning, through den Chraman agert. The podcast J. Claare na Gael, yes, as ten podcast Shen, Gorjimedy podcast Nelia J. Claare and Radio Vanning, Regerden Nasty in a degger Radio Vanning, the Trud Reich Erder and Podcast Elia, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, na Alexa. Well, chapter 14 of David Robertson now. Ramsey, Kirk Maughold, Legendus and Maughold, confirmed by an historical pillar. Snaefell, he calls it, Snaefell, its sublime and unparalleled prospect. Laxey, Kirk Concan, return to Douglas. On leaving Bishop's Court, we had a delightful walk in the evening through a fine country to Ramsey, where we arrived to supper. What I observed of Peel in a former chapter may, with little variation, be extended to this town. Both places, before the sale of the island, flourished by the gains of illicit commerce, and since then the inhabitants of both seem to have been affected with a supine indifference towards opening new channels of trade and commerce. In one instance Ramsey has the advantage of Peel. The neighbouring country, being highly cultivated, produces a considerable quantity of grain, part of which is annually exported from the little harbour of Ramsey. But this may be considered rather as the traffic of the farmers in the neighbourhood than of the merchants in the town. Tammy treistel the jar of the gin and dunya bach goil kerel Jason heen, and the gin veg tacher de vorre he. Teji serach as being doctor and shore de leonish. Ha ginum grey veg mechion liorla Jonathan Manavelle braich jim. Tammy chum manre de vel meer screw maag les grey screw en liorla en pien. Me so, me wisse braich mechion Lucy, for them core day. Ni shen spere limity fashion. Na san me. Teerjet, as engel. Oh, ha chwech a quailtus vias, to all you jay shaw core mechion cadam a geert. Tammy gennachten gorish pegeniach ons ashlish. Ne possible to show all you na ear perche? Man a rau mi jai lior lai Jonathan hoyacht, ga Bidens hayach jay der rau lid ear possible. Jonathan bach brau mean. Crane ridden lioru ve surrens. Ma scood save less G my nach lieg de all you shaw corase rish. Now this is a song with words by Mona Douglas to a tune by Nikolai Giovanelli, and it's sung by Christine TEARE.
And he
Christine TEARE with the song Aislyn EOGHAINN, with a tune by Nikolai Giovanelli and words in Manx by Mona Douglas. Nim correb sawel vai. Ach, foddy the gina gurgich as coonalesh. Aglach ma berge as atchemach san airtis jay. The higgles on shigaris. Na ren na sulien as na cleishen as na inchen egga. Molle he. As den he ulion firnius ton. Foddy de wel een doet tegen he. As tret een doet skridich mach. Creer bij jou. Na roest na gadle. Vis prowl de vee firnius. Foddy de bea gent smoe boeiach. As smoe able de horrel de grain. Gin oudest en Dr. Van Helsing na wunje mai, gammers na wunje krine, me visse kare de Arthurst en fairly soerd, as me renned corlesche eer wijn allen de goil kereel je Lucy. Tammy genachten wij vagen de welle mai as kindjel as je duches woesel. Tret he chit lena verach, nim braich je mechion Jonathan, as esch lesh koene ye. Foddy the gin ulju and trimpshes nim ne shaw, li jail gus airtis mai. Well, I'm afraid Robertson turns rather dismissive again here. At Ramsey, we met with little to engage our attention, and therefore left it early on the next morning. The sky was clear and serene, and the sun had just broke from the horizon when we gained the summit of a steep hill in our way to Kirk Maughold. Beneath us lay the spacious bay of Ramsey, glittering in his beams, while every object around us seemed to imbibe life and energy from his refulgence. In observing the various beauties of the morning, we passed the tedious and solitary road leading from Ramsey to Kirk Maughold, a small village which derives its name from the following legend. About the close of the 5th century, St. Maughold, who had formerly been a captain of Irish banditti, was cast upon this island in a little leathern boat, his hands and his feet loaden with fetters. Such an object naturally awoke the attention of the bishop of the isle, who received him with admiration and pity. Now, the Changing Room is a band from Cornwall, and here they sing Yntredha dowr a race.
Gans an lan hos in hagen trahin porth, han roso glenwys a hes, han dreorth an leoborth ag onan y borth, ag Yntredha dowr a res. War'n caethes a higan si anstelin dorn, ni welys fydd tecter somber. War in lan west a mi wrth y nest, hag Yntredha dowr a fer. Pan yn de bor yn le gwathrig ystod yn de bwtra y janges gan threlians a fros. Dodreth yw gynedd beth aldaeth enyn mes amser fyrig dyn I rŵg lor y gros. Rag Yntredha dowr a res. Gans gro an Yntredhens the Snaefell and Pons, defense nar a gwelsons o cref, yn dregans yn archans I benin dan hôl, ac Yntredha dowr a sef. Panen de bol yn le gwathrig ysofyn le bwfdra y janses gan threlians a froth, dodreth yw gynedd beth aldaeth benin mes amser fyrig dyn I rŵg lor y dros. Panen de bol yn le gwathrig ysofyn le bwfdra y janses gan threlians a froth, ma pel yw chwfi o ffris ni yn est bys yn west a moes yw oing cadig Mis oes wed the gas a di berth and i'r dre ag Yntredha dowr a ffrig ag Yntredha dowr a ffrig.
From their album Splan, that was the changing room in their song Yntredha dowr a race, about the communities of West and East Lou, and between them water runs. Well, St Maughold's arrival on a boat and in shackles has attracted the attention of the bishop, particularly, says Robertson, when the saint informed him that this severity and danger he voluntarily suffered as a penance for his former wickedness. To this mountainous solitude, still distinguished by his name, he retired. When his penitence, austerity, and piety obtained him such veneration that, after the death of the bishop, he succeeded him by the unanimous consent of the Manx nation. In 498 his pious celebrity wasn't confined to the island. It soon reached his native country, and St Bridget, one of the tutelary saints of Ireland and foundress of Douglas Nunnery, visited him in his mountainous retirement, and there received from him the veil of virginity. So far, says the legend, and in confirmation of part of this history, there's still visible a beautiful quadrangular pillar near the church gate of Kirk Maughold. It was later moved into the churchyard and subsequently into the church itself. Cuirt van mi smunion de bevailiam gen o roertes je kweltussen. Ren Cara Jonathan visgavrige the Exeter News, instead der au cunnion skin ulniu und sliden over. De liesig pech ve able de skriw shees bunnes de chulju fogel great, eer der au fame Sheila pert jane na sanmi. Shaw va kweltus gin casola. Nim correber a corri verbatim. Lug gisarachlag henke crank. Gauw mi krien jai in him neem as durri mi. Ons minute na gae doshel Maria Doris as Rennie Corren and Dr. Van Helsing. Jeremy as Remy Cromude, as Henke Maughold, Dunje Jane Trimmed Menach, Tali, leis na Gielte nege Ernen Gummel der Goul der skin Cliw Jane Woer, as Mwanel Sait Chamai a Chalb as den Kiaull a Wannel. Ta Cormid a Chion Corort Smunion Chilirach, de vel Shaw Cowrachamach Smunion as Njart, Swuzzelt en Kiaull. Jane Woods Mai, Jane as Moor Chauchulu Jane Ecclesiastical. That was the Scottish band The WHISTLEBINKIES, and they were playing a tune, Captain Celtic, from WHISTLEBINKIES' album called Albanach.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Siodiw stasiwn na nasiwn Radio Fanning, as Eggethreiton sé Claare na Gael wisgol sgeiliamach, Robert Cdyn Carroll tan enna morm, Robert a Carslach mata.
Have I heard tell of old Bobby Bob?
Tanedin, vis berich the glen, saisje gemach smegel higger gerinach, biel woer jadowach, stroin je moods mai, bekken girach, ach les toel stroon of rioil fregertach, te gien de hit de weine sleeg, aus dan a mollien moer a tamagach, chit nies, as dan wiel gjonige. Sleen as bruid en wesh, gol soes eg a toiach bonus de girach, as eish, kleine goel skinde at ne griem voor de Maughold. Liede wesh, ne wad de voltreiach tujem herrie ech or erbij, ach de tujem garu dromme de dugesach as de dag tjau. Te sulien moere gorm dorige, seit de leen Maughold, as het brioil as meich, ne troom goesach, les temene dunje. Doort hij rom, van Mina Harker na wel? Remmy kromod de gordeel. Van Mina in a murray? Rish remmy cordeel. She Mina murray henk me les shillier, verkare de peetje waag meen Lucy Westenra. Well, David Robertson has stopped to admire the Maughold Market Cross, which now stands protected inside Maughold Church itself. On one side, he says, under the capital, is sculptured a venerable figure of St. Maughold, conferring the veil on St. Bridget, whom the sculptor has represented as a majestic yet beautiful virgin. The opposite side has a representation of our Saviour expiring on the cross, and under it, in the arms of the island, is the arms of the island. On the third side is a figure of St. Bridget in a supplicating posture. Her eyes seem fixed on heaven, and her countenance indicates humility mingled with devotional rapture. The fourth side is totally defaced, but most probably it represented St. Maughold's arrival on the island, or some other part of his history. Besides this beautiful relic of antiquity, there's also a fine Danish cross sculptured on a large stone, reclining upon the ground just before the church door, which certainly merits the regard of the antiquary. And of course, Maughold is a site to which a lot of crosses have been gathered from the surrounding area and brought together to form a really large collection in Maughold churchyard. Now, we've heard Welsh singer Gwilym Bowen Rhys in various settings in Claare na Gael before now, including with his sisters Ellen Mererid and Margaret Airy in the family trio Plew. Well, this, though, is not Plew's usual sound, as they sing a children's song about a little hare and a greyhound.
Y bryn mae sgwarnog fach ar hyd y nos mae'n porri, a'i chefn brithau bola gwyn yn hidio dim am filgi. Milgi, 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 rowch fwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rowch fwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Ac wedi rhedeg tipyn bach, mae'n rhedeg mor ofnadwy, ac un glist lan ar llall I lawr yn dweud ffarwel i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rowch fwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rowch fwy o fwyd i'r milgi. wel mae'r milgi chwym yn teimlo I fod o'n blino. A dyna fo yn swp ar lawr mewn poenau mawr yn gwingo. Milgi, 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 rhowch mwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rhowch mwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Ond dal I fynd na'r sgwarnog fach a throi yn ôl I wenu. Gan sponcio'n heini dros y bryn yn dweud ffarwel i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rhowch mwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rhowch mwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rhowch mwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rhowch mwy o fwyd i'r milgi. Milgi, 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 rhowch mwy o fwyd i'r milgi.
A Welsh sibling trio, Plew and Milgi Milgi, Greyhound, Greyhound, in which the little hare calls for the greyhound to be fed, so it doesn't come chasing it. Maughold, notwithstanding its former celebrity, is now the most poor and lonely village in the island. The church stands on a very lofty promontory in the centre of a churchyard, containing not less than 5 acres. It's enclosed by a strong mound of earth faced on the outward side with stone, and a great variety of ancient and modern gravestones are scattered over this spacious enclosure. Perhaps, from pious veneration to the memory of St. Maughold, the natives, for several ages, used this consecrated spot as the chief place of interment in the island. On leaving Maughold, we proceeded through a very sterile part of the country towards Douglas. Well, rather than taking a coastal route, Robertson and his friends have climbed perhaps up from the Hibernia to the flank of Barul and onto the mountain land, and, he says, as the horizon continued pure and unclouded, we determined to enjoy the unparalleled prospect which Snaefell affords in such delightful weather. So it's now Snaefell. It was Snaefell in the bit at the top of the chapter, and now it's become Snaefell. But anyway, we're talking about Snaefell, obviously. When I Sheamoisin, she kunta na meriw tammy chit. Vaisha dwrt mi, chanadw fe beg na sherdaw ach mo cara de Lucy Westnra ran cwnali. A sheen mi mach mo law. Gawe as dwrt de meich. O, when I Sheamoisin, va fissem na vod a cara den veneg vach mor lily shen beach mai. Ach fe fos orm fetten mach. Hog kiaull na gornegel joris kromod out de kurtoil. Vrij mi G an orwe giri chit le shiljarm, ma so chilirach awi toyacht. Tammy ljai na skriwen jou rishen in a Lucy. Ljai G dawe, ach fe orm go toyacht a ronsige bol bi, as grauw pecher bi on de gira Va fissem drau was Mary ons Whitby. Na Kierten, the Cummel G. Len. Heliast you Gael Yindus van I Shavina, heng toyach der looked you for Gael, as the Irish G'd. As Sir G. Len shent he screw the Ren Shoeish Saweli. Now this song was written by Brian Warfield of the Irish band The WOLFE TONES, and here they are to sing it.
For those who are in love, there's a song that's warm and tender. For those who are oppressed, in song you can protest. So liberate your mind and give your soul expression. Open up your hearts, I'll sing for you this song. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. those songs of yours and of mine. It was back in ancient times, the bard would tell his stories of the heroes, of the villain, of the chieftain in the glen. To Elizabethan times and Cromwell in war and fury, but the pipers to the sword killed the harpers and their bards. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free, those songs of yours and of mine. Ireland, land of song, your music lives forever, in its valleys, in its mountains, in its hills and in its glen. Our music did survive through famine and oppression. To the generations gone, I'll sing for you this song. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free, those songs of yours and of mine.
The WOLFE TONES and Brian Warfield's song Let the People Sing. Ons chwish an veis tam I chitju, as tam I braachju, as nan gingilus gemoor, de instau ulju jay as oddeshu kunyonair. After climbing the lofty surrounding mountains, which only seemed to form a noble base to this stupendous pyramid of nature, we gained, with much difficulty and fatigue, its towering summit, from whence we had a most subtle and enchanting prospect. Well, Yntredha jit kiaull Claare Shaw nish. Chris Pearson will be here with the best of chill-out music for your Sunday evening between 7 and 9, and at 9 it's Sundown with Judith Lay. A visitor to Yntredha a few years ago was Breton clarinetist Emilien Robic, as part of a duo with Jérôme Guillaume at that time. Well, here he plays as part of the trio Fleuve, with his cousin Samson Dayouk on bass and Romain Dubois on Fender Rhodes piano, as they play a danse pleine. Sheamoisin, and so until the next time then, this is Robert Cutteen Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Oh, Bobby Bob.
Wishing you a very good night. Eve, I'm a Crieri, will you? As Ortselier, as my Yiri and shared you.